Wagwan, Mr. Maps.
Yo, what's good, bro?
In the ting, alive and blood-clad kicking.
Yeah. I'm very excited. This is episode 50. 50, bro. Half a century.
Dude, 550 episodes. Half century up. If I was in cricket, I'd be raising my bat.
Don't you raise your bat at the century mark, though?
No, at 50. No, 50 is the young one, right? You get to 50, then most cricketers like to act like it's not a big deal, and then they'll like raise the bat like Gawan, and then they'll just be like, yeah, thank you for the acknowledgement, sharp, still batting. But then when they reach 100, that's when they like take off the helmet and then literally take all the applause in.
So that's when they do the most?
That's when they do the most.
Okay, alright. Fair enough. But otherwise, you had a good week?
No, dude, it's been a great week. Slow so far, very busy. But we move, dog, we move. R.I.P. Mjokes, you know Mjokes? Mjokes was the 5th member of the Trompies. Quite a legend, bruh, quite a legend. He was the one who sang the vocals on Sweetie Lavo.
Oh, okay. I got you.
But yeah, he was in a car accident. That's still one of my favorite songs ever.
No, it's a classic. But okay. Thanks for starting the podcast on a sad note, Mr. Moyo. But
no, but we must just remember the good songs.
Yeah, but we do that at the end, no? Like, just messing up the vibe. Anyway,
the vibe is still good.
Nah. Be busy killing vibes over here. But anyway, it's chilled. Guys, welcome to another episode of 6 Foot Weights, your favorite hour with your favorite cheese boys. My name is Tabo,
and I am Senna.
And we're the guys, and today we have a very special guest who we will introduce just now. But we're just gonna run through the housekeeping real quick. Nothing major from my side. Just what's this thing called? Oh yes, our YouTube page, guys. Subscribe to the YouTube. We uploading the episodes now, 4 episodes for those who prefer to listen on YouTube. You can find the podcast on YouTube as well. And obviously, special shout out to the most important Moyo, who is Lindo. So she is our co-producer on the podcast, and she's the one who's sorting out the YouTube stuff. So big shout out to her, and thank you, Cheese Girl, honorary Cheese Girl. And
we'll come back on that most important just now.
But yeah,
just now.
That's basically technically everything from my side. That I think I need to say. If I remember anything, I'll talk about it later. But yeah, Mr. Moy.
Yeah, man. So a lot of people have been asking me, when is IP Thursday coming back? It's been a couple of weeks. No thread, no posting. And I've kind of been thinking about it, and I think IP Thursday will be back next month, beginning of July, so probably the first week of July, the first Thursday of July. So until then, I think, guys, just hang steady, hang tight. The reason I'm just preparing, obviously, how to come about this next season of it, because it's the second year of doing it. Trying to read as many cases as I can, trying to put them all together, and so forth and stuff like that. So yeah, please bear with me, be patient. We'll be back in a month.
All men do is lie. That's all I'm going to say. All men do is lie, because you told us, I'll be back. I'm just taking a 1-month break. Guys, this will be a 2-month break. But anyway, sing a good team show.
No, leave it. But guys, I'll be back. IP Thursday is coming back. It's just all of now managing how I do it going forward in a sustainable way. And by sustainable, I just mean that my preparation is good, that when eventually the weeks come, I'm not struggling for time, and I'm now saying, guys, sorry, I can't post a thread this week. So it's for the greater benefit of everyone.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. So I guess with that's the housekeeping done. So now we can take this opportunity to introduce our guest, and this is someone that is a friend to both I and Senna. We have known her for a very, very long time. And she is also she was our first sponsor of the podcast.
Wow.
So you as the listeners might know her as the CEO, the founder, the owner of Binti Raps. We know her as the lovable Gugu Nkwanas. Sawubona Gugu.
Hi.
Wagwan Gug.
How are you guys?
We're alive. We we can't complain. How are you feeling?
I'm good.
Google says she was nervous. She's like,
I'm
even
very
now I can hear, this is
nervous.
not-
I know, right? My voice is like changed.
Yeah, sounding.
I'm like, I wasn't expecting that. She brought back the wife don't try.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. She's coming in strong with the twang. We love it. She knows.
I
She's
never
on
expected
brand. Gugu is on brand, and we like to see it. Love it. Siyawo. So, I guess before we go even like too far into what we're going to talk about, I think this would be obviously a great opportunity for you to talk about Binti and talk to, because obviously we've mentioned it a couple of times on the podcast, but there's nobody better than you to talk about it, and also the other stuff that you're doing with the picnics and stuff like that in Bulawayo. So kind of give us a brief overview of what's going on.
Okay, so I am based in Bulawayo. I do picnics that I do with my sister. At the moment she's in Pretoria, so I kind of do all the groundwork in terms of running around, putting the picnic together. She's very big with the concept that we will have for the picnic or the event, because we do want to grow to bigger events. So for your parties and everything, we're your people. That's Mikey and I events on Instagram. And then with the head wraps, Pombe, my friend in South Africa, introduced me to head wraps, how to tie them, and basically how to fall in love with them. And so I did. Probably love them a lot more than she does now. But coming back to Zim after varsity, I felt like a lot of people in Bulawayo don't wear head wraps. So it was more of like just wearing it for a funeral or like with these elders and stuff. And I just wanted it to be something that we can enjoy and celebrate wearing all the time wherever we are.
Personally, I like this movement. Amanda.
Thank you.
Onwards and forwards.
So just to make sure that I understand correctly, ama head wraps lao, ama clear.
Yes, Tao.
Okay. No, because you said people don't really do it a lot in Bulawayo, but I see maybe not, the cheese girls, obviously not, but there's a lot of people who wear my clear in Bulawayo. But when am I getting mine? I think that's the more important question.
When are you getting
Forward.
I want my clear, isn't it? I could be a
Do what
durag.
with it?
I could make it into a durag.
You're
Nah.
a durag nigga.
We're disowning you, Tavo. If you were a drag, we're disowning you, bruh.
I'm trying to get the waves, is it? On the head and all that.
Nah.
But I think, sort of to answer your question, Tabo, I think it's like she said, right? It's become either it creates something that's worn by elderly women, or at particular occasions.
So
or at
we are
funerals.
rebranding, the reputation around Amakli.
Definitely, because I remember I would wear a head wrap more than I realized to church, and this like little 8-year-old girl came to me and she's like, "Why are you always wearing a head wrap?" And I'm like, I didn't realize that I wear it that often, but I love the fact that people recognize that I wear it that often.
Okay. No, that's great. That's great. So then now, obviously we have a lot of listeners who are not in Bulawayo right now, who are not in Zim. And, they're going to go onto Instagram, they're going to check you out and say, oh, these are dope. How could someone who's not in the country get one? Do you ship internationally, or have you not gotten to that point yet?
I mean, I'm not a year old yet, but I do want to extend to South Africa. Definitely this year, South Africa will be getting head wraps.
Okay. So you're still trying to figure out what you're doing locally, and then once that's set up, then we can expand outside the country and outside the continent.
Definitely.
Okay.
What inspired the name? I think I'm more curious about, because I can see Maki and I events. Where that name came from. But what inspired Binti, like, as a name?
So I'm like, I used to be a feminist. I used to be a very self-proclaimed feminist, but I wouldn't.
Used to be.
I used to be. I wouldn't.
There's a story there.
There's a story here.
I wouldn't classify myself completely as a feminist now. So the name Binti, right, is Swahili. So I wanted it to be a Swahili name because Swahili, according to the AU agenda of 2063, Swahili should be the language of Africa in the coming years. So I wanted it to be a Pan-African name. So obviously then it comes from the Swahili language. And then Binti in Swahili means femininity. So the whole point is to enjoy, embrace, celebrate femininity. Because sometimes I think the danger of feminism is we end up becoming like men or aspiring to the standards of what a man is and not celebrating our femininity and everything that comes with being a woman.
Okay. Nah, I love that, actually. That's dope. That I can definitely get behind that. I didn't know that that was the meaning of Binti.
Yeah, I had to ask a friend of mine from Tanzania, so yeah.
No, this is great. So obviously anyone who's listening to this, lucky for you, Gugu, the podcast is 60% female. So I'm pretty sure, you're talking to the right audience right now. And yeah, no, that's absolutely amazing. So you said your Instagram handle is what?
It's at Binti_head wraps. So that's BINTI.
Okay. All right. And then for the picnics?
For the picnics, it's mikey.i.and.events.
That's a lot of dots, bro.
It's basically Mikey and I events with like dots in between each one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Now we'll repost that on our Twitter page. And then if you are interested, DM us. We'll send you directly to Gugu. And let's definitely support the business.
Thank you.
So transitioning into our first topic of the day. This made quite a few rounds on Twitter, and it was one of those things where when I read it, I thought, you know what, good for this man. We had a king who stood up for himself and did not succumb to social pressures, even though primarily SA Twitter, Zim Twitter, was ladies Twitter rather, was coming for him and saying, the guy ain't shit and A B C D blah blah blah. Either way, I still stand with the guy. So basically, long story short, we're assuming it's his girlfriend, said she was hungry. I think there was no power, and he then proceeded to send her a very nice, respectful, and detailed message as to why said thing cannot be done. So, Mr. Moyo, if you could help me with the particulars of this message, and then we can take it from there.
Okay. I'm actually not sure if it's his girlfriend or a girl he was trying to get to know. Either way, girlfriend or potential girlfriend or aspiring girlfriend.
Yeah.
So she sends him a text saying, "There's load shedding upper again and I'm so hungry." Crying emoji. 4 minutes later, she goes, "Can you please order something to eat for me, Baba?" This is at 12 o'clock. 12 minutes later, she tries to call him. I assume the call doesn't go through. Notwithstanding that, the next morning at 7 a.m., he sends a text, "Good morning, smiley face. I hope you're good. I just wanted to apologize if I've given you the wrong impression of who I am and what I can offer in your life. I personally don't appreciate being asked for money or food, as I don't think we're at that stage of our relationship. I like you. You're cool, but I don't think we share the same views when it comes to the relationships and advancements, and I might be wrong. Correct me if I am. With that being said, I'd still like to get to know you more, but please ease in with the asking me for stuff. It's a major turn-off. Obviously, screenshot was taken. It went viral.
Yeah.
Everyone giving their 2 cents about it. I think I sent it to your DMs. I was like, bruh, pre this day. I feel like this whole week on Twitter I've just been sending stuff to your DMs.
Yeah, I know. You've sent me a lot of stuff.
This was a wild week.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mr. Maposa, you said you agree with them 100%.
Yeah.
And you're not the only one. Like, a lot of guys were proud of this man.
Yeah,
and some
no,
girls, but
definitely.
a lot of guys sort of felt like they found their hero. Like someone who expressed something in a way that they've probably, in most instances, haven't been able to themselves. What were your thoughts?
I guess what actually let's start with Gugu, because I'm most curious about what Gugu has to say.
Okay.
So when Gugu, now that you have the context, if you didn't know already, what are your feelings towards a guy or the girl or both?
I was actually waiting to hear from you first, Tao, because I don't know the context of what people have been saying on Twitter, but I think that this escalated way too quickly. Like, the girl could have been joking or whatever. Like, guy could have asked a further question, interrogate the matter, but I feel like he read into the situation so much deeper than it needed to be read into.
Okay,
I actually agree with that.
Nah. Again, here's the difficult thing is we don't have the full context, right? So Gugu, you could be absolutely right. Uwuti, the girl, maybe she was testing the waters, or she was just kind of messing around, and the guy took it seriously, because there have been lots of instances where we've all been through that. We joke around with someone and they take it seriously, like, guy, I'm just playing, relax.
So maybe for the purposes of this, we need to make an assumption so that it's easier, right?
Okay,
so maybe let's assume it's
let's assume
girl
she's
that
serious.
he is pursuing, and she is being serious.
If that's the assumption, then what I would then say, is he's completely within his rights. Yeah, because there's this agenda, right? I'd say from the other gender about a man must be this, indota maiwe plan, indota this, indota that. You know what I mean? Like, there's this whole agenda that's going on, and there's people who firmly believe in it and are pushing it, and there's others who are just kind of doing it because they're on the bandwagon, right? And I'm just like, all right, cool, fair enough. If that's what you guys expect and would want, good for you. But then guys should also be allowed to be like, nah, fam, I'm not with that. That's not my spillion. That's not really what I want to do right now. And, if you're going to make me wait, and a girl has every right to say, listen, I don't have, sex with a guy until a month in, 2 months, 3 months, whatever. It's her body, her rights. A guy has the same rights to his wallet. Uti hi. Mina, I will only send you money after 2 months. Don't ask me for no favors, until we are officially girlfriend and boyfriend. Then everybody has, the rights to say, this is what I like, and these are my preferences, and this is how I go with it. So I like the fact that it was respectful, it was detailed, it made sense, and he was like, he didn't attack her. He just said, hey,
No.
ease up a bit.
I don't agree with that. And the reason I don't agree with the fact that it's meant to come across as respectful, but it's condescending as fuck.
How is it condescending?
I'll tell you why, and I'll tell you why just now. It's meant to come across as reasonable, as setting boundaries. To be honest, at times detail is not necessary. At times, especially with a lot of sensitive things, detail I think agali.
So
you can
what's your
let
idea
someone
of that?
down.
What would you have said?
Well, first of all, I would have bought the food. Let's get that clear. And there's a reason for that. And this will touch on something that probably me and you have spoken about a couple of times. But when you're pursuing someone, right? And I assume he was trying to get to know her.
Yeah.
And as a guy, when you are pursuing a woman, when you are sharing someone, xa ukhombisa umuntu, xa ufuna umuntu ukumenzani take her from wherever she is and bring her to your life. When you want to fetch someone's daughter from their peace,
honestly,
you must be prepared to make a few sacrifices. And and it's not like she's asking for a lot. She's asking for food. Guys, a Streetwise 2 is 30 something rand. You can get a Streetwise 2 channel can be done. A McFeast. Taking a McFeast, a McDonald's burger with chips, you're done. It's not something I would send that kind of text for. I think that text is disproportionate to the request.
Yes.
I would understand if she asked for a lot. No, like genuinely, this is not something you write along as paragraph 4. It's if you come Tabo and you slap me, then I take out a gun and I shoot you. That's not proportionate to
what happened,
what your conduct demanded of me. And Gugu, I don't know how you feel about this, but I think in such a scenario, you either bite the bullet, you buy the food, or you just say, hey, sorry, I can't. Because this long speech, you'd swear she asked him for 1,000.
But ungati sorry I can't, then she would go and she'd be like, hey, this guy couldn't even buy me a McFeast. When
then that's your problem.
No, but like
no, you can't. Here's the thing. I think a lot of guys are concerned about if I put it in this way, it's going to make me look broke. This whole speech already made him look broke.
That's not true. That's not true at all.
It is true. Because I feel like the concern with just saying, no, I can't. Sorry, I can't right now. Was, oh, she's going to think I don't have the means.
But also,
but
if
this
you're
comes
saying,
across as, yeah.
But also, if you're saying, like, I'm still getting to know you and stuff. Okay, I'm getting to know you. Are we meeting under a tree and we're talking under a tree, or you're taking me out, just even to McDonald's or McClary or whatever? Like, what's the context then of us getting to know each other if you can't even just take me out for lunch, let alone buy me lunch?
No, but that's different, right? So this is, to me, this is what the other assumption that I'm making. Uti, like, she's at home, he's at home, and, you know, she's asking for food, right? So this is not necessarily in a date context. So I'm sure if they're going out and they're getting to know each other, he's taking her out to places, right? But this conversation is mainly focused in the fact that, you know, she randomly said, hey, can you buy me some food? Which, like Senna said, most guys would just get you the Uber Eats, right? You know, hey, get the chicken in, whatever. Cool, yeah, that's not a big deal. But what I'm saying is, with the pressures that women put on guys, right, or society put on guys, you know, you must be this and that. Then guys, if there's guys who are peculiar like that, and they say, nah, Mina, I want to get to know you better, and I want to, you know, go through these things before we start sending each other money and this and that. Because again, it starts small, right? And then you work your way up to the other stuff. You don't just, you know, in a relationship, no one is ever going, Sena, ngeli 1,000 rand, right? It starts off with, baby, ngela, you know, oh yeah, sure. Oh, baby, ngela,
but Tabo,
it gradually comes up.
But Tabo, now you're also assuming that this girl is simply just, in other words, a gold digger, that she's just there for the benefits of getting anything that money can get her. Because what if she was just desperately at home? But like, what if she was just desperately at home and there was nothing to eat, and it just took her like every single muscle in her to have to ask this guy for food?
And to be fair to her, can I just add?
It's a big problem if
no, but she did say
but of all the people, the guy that you've just met, that you're talking to, got test. Like, that's the guy that you're going to be like, when there's, you know, again, there's parents, there's cousins, there's homies, there's, you know, there's a lot of other people who would take that bill, who could buy you that same.
But you see, I can't, in my, Tabo, I've known you longer than your partner.
Yes.
Right? Even at the time when you guys had just met. If you were to ask me for something, it's more or less on Sena, give me this and I'll do it. But at times it just may be a feel good from someone who is interested in you, if they can go to that little extent to show that, oh, I care. It's not even a hey, because she said there's load shedding, but it's a nice feeling when someone you care about romantically makes a gesture.
So
a gesture
she should have left it at, there's load shedding and I'm starving. Leave it there.
Why
And
does she
then-
have to be starving? For you
Okay,
to
fine.
get up and decide.
All right,
let's
fine.
get her food?
No, I'm just saying for it to make sense, the whole ndaba, right? If she just left it at, babe, there's load shedding, and I can't cook, or I don't know, I'm hungry or whatever. Cool, that's enough of a hint. Where if I'm that guy who wants to make that romantic gesture, I'll jump on it and be like, what do you want to eat?
But
You
she
know?
did. It's not, and that's the thing. What my issue is, it's not like she just came at this and said, "Babe, please send me food." She's like, "There's load shedding up. There's load shedding here." She even called him Baba. Bruh, if a girl called me Baba,
Dang.
No, that's where firstly, that's where I was like, cool. I would give you the money. Me personally, as Utabo, I would have broken. At that point, Vaba, I would have broken. I would have been like, cool, how much you want? You know, how many McChickens do you want? Right? That would have been me. But like, again, this is not saying that I am behind this guy in terms of what he did. All I'm saying is I support his right to express that view. Like, people were coming for him. Hey, she just wanted a McFlurry, and he got a think, and he sent her a think piece. And I'm just like, guys, so what? Because you don't want someone
piece
assuming
over
that
50
you're broke.
rand.
Yeah, but like, here's the thing. There's so many other assumptions that people can make. But he let his points be clear, and he was concise, and he was like, listen, this is not something that I do in a relationship that is this young. Right?
So
and
wait,
then if that girl is completely turned off, that's her opportunity to just be like, you know what? I want guys that are going to buy me food whenever I ask for food. Sorry, but thanks, but no thanks. And she leaves. Right?
Okay,
It's as simple as that.
So Gugu, you come across a guy like this, right? So let's say there was no Uzesa when we actually started this call. Let's say Agula Maketsi, you're home alone, and you need to, I don't know, get food from somewhere, right? This guy who's been in your DMs on Instagram, commenting on all the selfies, saying, hey, what's up? You ask him for food,
Fire emoji.
and then he does this. What's your impression of him after
That he, to a certain extent, that he's not serious about actually pursuing me. If he can comment on my
Exactly.
pictures and everything on Instagram, like, I didn't even say, can I have food from such and such a place that's expensive? Or I didn't say that, can I have this plus this? Just food. It could have been a simple sandwich, because like, hey, girls like a lot of effort if you made a little sandwich and dropped it off. Like, it just was not that serious.
No, but Gugu, where are you getting this being? So enye ndoda who's not your father. Like, where is that coming from?
But this
I'm
isn't.
so
this is-
disappointed.
But this is a guy who were saying that this guy said it's so early in the relationship. We're in the relationship. So, okay, so say I then asked for my one guy friend to get me food. Then he'd be touched again that I didn't ask him.
Maybe, again, that's something that we don't know, right? We don't, based on the facts that we have, right? Again, if he's that type of guy, then my assumption is he wouldn't care. If you're with such a guy and then you go, yo, Senna, can you buy me, a McFeast? And Senna buys it. I'm assuming that type of character would align with someone who wouldn't care with Senna bought you a McFeast, right? But all I'm saying is, in terms of what we're discussing right now, he is within his rights, and he doesn't deserve the level of criticism that he received and is currently receiving from, the general public. I think that was, to be honest, disproportionate to what he did.
But also, again,
his
his message was disproportionate to her message. He could have literally just
he
said,
set the
for
standard.
such a reason, I will, okay, not go in depth as much as he did, because I really feel like he painted her in a bad light for asking in the first place.
Exactly. It's like, why are you asking? He's making her feel
No,
bad.
but Senna, wait, go back. He did say in the message, he said something to the tune of, I don't know what Lokuzin. Maybe we're on the wrong page. We were on the wrong page or something along those lines. He did say maybe something wasn't communicated, or you're assuming this and that, which is
No, but then you can't then say that and then say, I'd still like to get to know you. Like,
Exactly.
No,
But-
it's a bit different. It's like the energies are not in sync.
so. If
It's
you're
like,
a woman,
I don't want to do
a
this,
woman-
but I
wait,
still want to
Senna,
get to know you.
Genuine question. If you are charming someone's daughter, right?
Yeah.
Are you saying that by virtue of charming someone's daughter, I am now responsible for her meals at her request?
Not responsible, But if I want
this is what
her,
it is.
then it's something I would do. It's not a responsibility. But
it's not
if
a
I'm
responsibility,
pursuing
then
that
so
person,
he's allowed to say no, right?
he is allowed to say no, right? Now, what I have an issue with is the think piece that is disproportionate to her request. It's not like she said, yo, I want to let full tank of petrol.
Ah.
Bruh, she literally said, yo, there's load shedding, Appa. Clearly, as a guy who maybe we're getting to know each other, maybe I'm pursuing you, you're pursuing me, maybe there's vibes, whatever it is, buy me food. Bruh. Food. Are we writing think pieces over a KFC? It's 3 twice 2. Come on now. I'm just
Guys, inflation is real, bro. You can't
do you know what this whole chat reminded me of? And Gugu, I'm not sure if you saw this on Twitter or Instagram at any point in time, but there was a chat last year where girls were complaining that whenever they go sleep over at guys' house in South Africa,
they don't get fed.
They don't get fed. I'm not sure if you read that, but girls were saying, I went to sleep over at this guy's house and he just fed me knickknacks the whole weekend. I slept over at this guy's house and he bought takeaways and went to eat them by himself in the corner. Don't you think it's similar, Cooks? Like I'm just thinking now, Buti, bruh. In my opinion, element of nature.
Nah, guys.
Tabo, I think we can't run away from the roles that guys and girls play in relationships.
Yes.
Okay, go on. I'm listening.
Because, okay, say if it was the other way around, where it's the guys who go sleep over the girls would do the most to cook for him or whatever it is, right? So why can't it be that if I'm going to his place, if he's not cooking, at least prepare food for me or get food sorted out?
Okay.
Using your money to do so as the guy.
Quick one. What Senna has done is what Senna does a lot when he's on the ropes in a debate. Senna does this thing. Senna does this thing where he gives you these weird examples, like we're talking about A, and then Senna will give you this example about B. So obviously, if I invite a woman to my place, right? I'm like, hey, come over. 100%. I'm ordering in, cooking for you. Like I'm doing the most because obviously I'm campaigning, right? I want to be your man.
Yeah, no. So can you?
We're not.
Can you hold on to the obviously I'm campaigning line that you just put there?
Okay.
Just hold it and then continue. I want to bring it back to it.
Okay, but anyway, all right. So I'm holding that, but like, that example again to me is null and void because that's a situation where you are in my space, right? And I am responsible. If I call you to my house, I am responsible for everything that happens there. Like you have to have a perfect stay. That's not what we're talking about here. What we're talking about is a guy saying, nah, listen, me if I'm at my place and you are at your place, before me you were eating, after me you're still going to be eating. Right. So therefore, during me, ningena ngapi when it comes to issues of feeding.
Now, so load shedding, and obviously you are campaigning. Are you telling me because you are campaigning, you won't get the food?
So he fumbled, right? If he's really, really into this chick, he fumbled. Let's not get it wrong. Me and you are on the same page in terms of he did the wrong thing. But all I am trying to say is he was fully within his rights to say what he said. That's my only point here.
I don't think we disagree with that. We're just saying that the way he did it was just unnecessary.
It was respectful shit. I think it was respectful.
Okay, Tabo, now I'm going to sub because what would you have said?
No, I wouldn't have said anything because obviously I would have done it. Like again, if I'm interested, you are trying to, like you said, the role men and women play in a relationships in a relationship are two very different roles, right? So that would be a perfect opportunity where, and again, in my ideal scenario, you would never have to ask me. I would just do it, right? When I'm campaigning, it's just one of those things where already in my mind, right? In the relationship I'm in right now, in the beginning, right, where we were still kind of getting to know each other and stuff like that, it was a thing where she didn't want anything from me. Like, it was always a struggle where I was like, no, babe, let me do this for you. So, but like, that to me is how it's meant to be. And I do understand that there is a community of guys who don't like it if a chick is straight up just like, you know, like art bicha. But there's other guys who want girls who want them to do, who like them needy, right? Who do they everything in the world, baby this, baby I want this, baby. Because other guys get off on that, right? This particular customer is one of those who's just like, nah, fam, don't ask me. Because that's just a turn off. And I think that's fair at the end of the day. Fair enough. We're not going to be changing anyone's mind. But guys, add us and let us know on the Twitter account at 6footweights on Twitter. Let us know your thoughts in terms of this whole thing. Was the guy justified or was he not justified? Also, if you are a girl and listening to this, let us know if you are, that type of person that these are your basic expectations. If you ask, you fully expect the guy to get it done, or am I making sense in terms of like, where are you getting this brave to?
Where are you getting this brave?
Where are you getting this brave to be out here? Bruh, hi.
I think what was also funny was now. So the chat that then came out of this was, okay, girls are starving, girls are broke. Which, it made me laugh, right? Because it's like people are saying girls are dating because
they need to eat.
You see? Like, now, are you really interested in me, or are you just hey, like, come on.
But like, guys, come on. Like, this is like the beginning stages of relationship. Isn't this when people are like ready to jump over the stars and the moon for people also?
I think so.
Like, this is the time where you're willing to be broke for the girl, and then later on, like a couple of months down the line, then that's when you're like, listen, bruh, I don't have that money. Or I'm not willing to do that.
But then, isn't that false advertising? Because if I'm, busy acting like Put Majlisa the whole time, and you're thinking, Utabo is he's that guy, he's Murek. Anything that I wanted, me and Tabo went out. He'd take me out here. He always had this covered. And then 6 months down the line, you're like, right, baby, Asambela. And I'm just like, I can't do it anymore. Like, I feel like that's hoodwinking someone into thinking, No,
obviously you don't do anything extreme, but like your guys are in cloud 9, and then you come down to reality later, but like just be in cloud 9 and sell each other dreams and nonsense,
Hey, you Vitz graduates, you're on levels. No, Senna was telling us, the other week, Senna was telling us about how, he had someone's daughter eating tuna and this inqua, and the moment that he got a bit of cash, he took her to Rosebank for dinner.
Hey guys,
that's hectic.
You must do the right things. You must do the right, because kudala abantu babekukhombisa kuhle. Like, if you, I dare us now, I'm not going to do it, I'm not brave enough, but I dare anyone listening to this who has African parents, like, Dad, how did you convince my mother to go on a date with you or to be your wife? You'll see how direct it was, how intentional it was, and how kind of men took responsibility and they were like, right, let me do this for you, Katesi. Sengithumela abantu ekhaya, Katesi. Sengikuthengela lokho, Katesi.
Yeah, I mean, it reminded me of this one guy at church who we had this whole dating chat when we were like, it was an afternoon program at church. I think I was probably Form 1 or Form 2. And this one Pali goes, me and my wife, I knew she was the one. The moment that I saw her, she was the one. We went out on one date and I married her after. And I was like, nah, fam. And everyone was just like, nah, this ain't it. And so I mean, yeah, maybe if that's the route one that you're looking for.
Not really, because me, I'm all about taking time and stuff. But
of course,
I will always say, even though you are taking time, be somewhat intentional. Like, don't be, guys. Like, we can go on let's go on a date. Let's do this. Let's do that. It's Yeah. Go above and beyond.
Fair enough. All right, so let's move on from this topic. Otherwise, we'll be here the whole day, busy going back and forth. So one thing that our guest here, Gugu, wanted to touch on is that apparently Bulawayo, our beautiful city, is becoming a much more dangerous city. And the rate of crime and armed robberies and all this other stuff apparently is going up at this particular point. And
abantu sebephilisa fast and the furious in Bulawayo. Dog.
So it's peak apparently. So what but Gugu, let's put a bit of color into the conversation. What exactly, how did you want to sort of direct this whole chat about crime in Bulawayo?
So you guys, I don't know, you guys haven't been to some in a while, but Ascot Shopping Center, yeah?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like a really pretty done up liquor supplies shop there, and so the first of the big robberies in Bulawayo was there I think about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and the robbers walked in. A group of them walked in. It wasn't too late as well. It was not. I don't think it was before 8 p.m. even. And these guys walked in, told everyone to get down, and they took the money, everything, and they shot the lady who works behind the till twice in the head. So that one, that was scary because people were now very cautious about where they were going, what they were doing. But because Bulawayo to a certain degree is too big for the police to have eyes on every area all the time. So I think literally the same week that happened or a week later, there was 9 truckloads full of money that was stolen from Choppies. And then this past weekend, there was a service station. I think it was Epelandabo.
You said, wait, hold on. 9 truckloads.
9 truckloads of monny. If I'm not
Choppies
mistaken,
doesn't have that type of money, right?
Wait, was this US dollars or am I RTGS?
It was probably RTGS. But also again,
I take it back.
But also again, it sounds like the security company was Dodge. So I don't know if it was because of the security company.
Wait, can I just, was it 9 trucks as in
if I'm not mistaken, between 6 and 9. But yeah, trucks of my cash.
Of money.
Money. Whether it's the nonsense bond that we have, or
so there's no reason at all to keep that kind of money physically.
Anyway. But it was one of those it was going to get banked. So instead of going to drop off each truck at the bank, they were going and collecting the money all at the same time. All 6 cars were going at the same time to pick up the money, which is just Dodge, So yeah.
So have you guys purchased a shotgun yet, or not yet?
No, I don't think we would want to do that. Not at home, at least.
Wow. I honestly, it shocks me that skies can be that dangerous.
It is, and then this past weekend,
it's the safest. It's one of the safest cities in the world.
Exactly, and then this past weekend, I think it was Pelandaba, if I'm not mistaken, at a fuel station. Again, guys went and robbed the place, and they shot the guy in the chest.
I didn't even know we had money to buy guns. I honestly, I'm still shook by that.
Listen, I blame it on South Africa, honestly, because y'all let all the robbers out, and they've just come back to Zim and just are doing the most.
So this Joburg CBD.
Oh, this is Joburg CBD, hey?
Nah, that's wild.
So it's hectic. So it's scary to think about, you have to be cautious now where you're walking, and you can't walk around with your phone or your bag, especially your bag. It's bag, they'll snatch your bag and it's gone. So it's it feels like I'm in Bram again, genuinely.
Bram wasn't
of
bad.
Bram
was bad.
we can. Oh wow, there's. I actually have a funny story about Bram, but let's segue there. Let's come to Bram. There's a story that we mentioned briefly that we need to air Mr. Moyo, because I keep telling people that Senna is an ain't shit nigga, but they don't believe me. So Gugu is here to attest to that fact and tell us where this supposed best friend, this guy, was meant to do something, but he decided not to. But anyway, Gugu, the floor is yours. Take it away.
So I think we were like in third year and I needed to apply for my new visa for fourth year. So I say to Sena, I know, bro, please come with me to Hillbrow to go, so because I had to go to the police station there to get my police clearance. So I'm like, okay, tell me.
One second. So for anyone who might not have been to SA or those parts of South Africa, what's the big deal about Hillbrow?
You don't go to Hillbrow. Essentially, that's all I can say. You don't go to Hillbrow because it's just dodgy. It's just, the crime there is insane. Like, the people are just, you don't go to Hillbrow.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm like to Sena, I think it was like a Thursday. I'm like, Sena, bro, please come with me to the police station because I need to do my police clearance and whatever. So Sena's like, oh, cool. Then we get onto the bus, we go to Hillbrow, we walk down to the station, and then for some reason I couldn't do it that day. So I had to come back on Friday. And then, so Sena and I go again on Friday, and again, I think it was like month end or whatever, and the guy in charge was like, not there. So cool, so like, come back on Monday. Sena's like, so I messaged Sena Sunday evening. I'm like, Sena, bro, please come with me to Hillbrow tomorrow. He's like, bro, I can't come. I maybe I should not disclose the reason for which I suspect, because at the time there was, so Sena's best friend was being ditched for a girl somewhere else, but okay, it's cool. And then so I had to catch the bus for myself, and here I am literally shoving my passport, my keys, my student card, everything into my bra because I didn't want to get mugged and then not have a passport or keys or a phone or anything. I literally walk in the middle of the road. Like, I couldn't walk on the pavement, so I'm like zigzagging from one side of the road to the other and trying to dodge people.
That is wild.
Can I tell my POV?
Please do. Please. I've been waiting for it. It's been so many years.
Bruh, Gugu, every week we're talking, Kanti, you're carrying this.
I've got him taller, bruh. It's time to release it.
No, she man. She said I've got him taller, bruh.
So further context, right? So, me and Gugu, friends since primary school. We then happened to also go to the same university, right? Where naturally, because there are no other familiar faces, obviously we become bestest of friends because, people who grow up together, you're also in the same university. It just makes sense. So whenever, because I think at the time, also, Gugu being a kid went to Whitestone, then GC. So working in Bram also is like, walk with me, right? So I'd always be like, Cooks, let me walk you to Pick and Pay. I'll walk you to whatever, just around. And I didn't mind that at all. Always look forward to it. Even remember when we go to Small Street as well. So into Joburg CBD too, whenever she needed to get something, we'd go. And because it's walking distance from Bram, we would literally just walk. And it was chilled. And then in third year, something happened. So in third year, I then get into a relationship with so not that I wasn't in a relationship before. I was in a long distance relationship with a girl from Zim, and then I broke up with her, and then I started dating someone who was actually there in Bram in third year. So relationship starts, obviously, and then I obviously still used to do stuff like, Google asked me to walk me here. Be like, hey, bruh, I'm heading out. Where you going? No. Google asked me to go here with us.
I see where this is going.
You're right. And then and I thought it was chill. I always thought it was chill because I'm like, bruh, this is like my best friend. The fuck. So I never thought anything of it. So Google wants to go to CBD, we come back. Then Google wants to just take I don't know what you had in Bram, and I had to walk you back from Bram back to campus because you stayed on campus. I stayed in Bram. So little stuff like that, right? That you do for your homie. But in that particular week, I think day one happened. I'm like, hey, yo, I'm walking Google to Hillbrow. We come back. Didn't win today. Day two happens. I'm walking Gugu to Hillbrow. We come back. Right. Day three happens. Hey yo, I'm walking Gugu to Hillbrook tomorrow. Fight. Now it then becomes very difficult as a man. So I was then told, you know, like when you're accused of something, but you're not being accused of something, but you know you're being accused of something. You know how it is. So in that moment, I was being accused of things. And I'm like, no, bruh, listen, just my homie. I'm literally just walking her to Hillbrook. I'll be back. Like, literally, we're homeboys. Who else can she ask? No. I feel like this is problematic. It's 3 days in a row. I feel like, you know, it's either you go tomorrow or mina. I don't even know if that was the threat, but I remember it was just very tense that evening.
But I knew her and she knew me. Why couldn't she come with?
Gugu, I don't know. Angwazi.
Yeah, no.
I literally have no idea.
So Gugu, and again, this is not over exaggeration, but Gugu actually, her safety was on the line.
It was.
And
so,
you said said this friend of mine that I've gone to school with since primary.
Dude, I explained all of that.
And I'm chasing a relationship
so
Side
note. So what I then did, which I then texted my other boy, Milo. I texted Milo and I'm like, yo, dude, do you mind doing me this one tomorrow? He's like, chief, I can't. And that was probably the only person I could trust to do that. And then I was hoping, and then I prayed that maybe if I say no, because I remember Gugu also had a couple other guy friends there in Res that I was hoping she could ask. And I was hoping she'd do that, and I don't think she did. So then afterwards, now I'm like, yeah, good tough.
Yeah, so this is the second time, Selami, so that you and your girls and Che just think something about me. I'm like, wow, like I'm learning this today. Good how there's another one.
No, okay.
For a boy we used to do carpool with at Whitestone, guys.
Okay, the other occasion, it wasn't. I didn't tire you that time.
No, you didn't tire me, but I was tired essentially.
All right,
so put some context. What happened?
All right, so you know how I told. Okay, so you know how I told you that I was dating someone when I went to varsity, right? Mm-hmm. So, somewhere along the line, I ended that relationship. Mm-hmm. But I think the reasons I gave were vague as to why I'm ending it. So that person didn't really understand in the initial stages. Like, Senna's breaking up with me. Why is Senna breaking up with me? And then after a couple of months, she's like, chief, comrade, are you breaking up with me because when I look Gugu 10? I'm like, no, my homie. So that was the first time she got tired. It wasn't even like by me, to be honest. It was just the circumstance and the situation.
So Gugu's been giving all your romantic partners fits for years?
No. It wasn't even like that. But I think there's something that happens. I don't know. It clicks at times. Nat would probably be the best person to have on today. But it clicks at times when you're friends with someone, and then maybe because we've been friends for a very long time, and maybe as a girlfriend you feel like, I want to monopolize his time, but now I can't.
True. That's true. I can understand that.
Why can't I monopolize his time? Well, I can't monopolize his time because the last week since Thursday, every afternoon he's been saying, I need to go to Hillbrook. And in that moment, Gugu stops being my friend, and then in her head it becomes another girl.
No, but guys, this is Hillbrook we're talking about, right? This is not like walk me to the How train
the
station.
The thing is, I could have explained all of that stuff, dude. There's nothing I could have said which wouldn't have been counted. Dude, a woman, when a woman is angry, the only thing you can say is, okay, you're right.
I won't lie though. Sometimes as girls in such situations, we can lose a little bit of logic sometimes, and we let our emotions get the better of us.
Oh,
I can admit that. I'm not gonna speak for every girl, but like I feel like sometimes.
Okay. I wouldn't but
I forgive you, Senamiso. I forgive you.
Fantastic. So now I'm glad that there's been a little bit of closure and healing on the podcast.
I feel like this is platonic blue therapy.
Yeah. No, clearly, because Senna, you can't be. Me personally, I still won't understand that.
What do you mean you won't understand it?
I just, bro, this is. Anyway,
Dude,
it is what
I beg every one of you to try it. In your next relationship or in your current relationship, have someone of the opposite gender that you're very good friends with, and then just introduce 3 afternoons where you're saying I'm not available because.
So what you're saying is Gugu was now over the favor quota. Is that's what happened?
No, not at all. But I think in my ex's mind it was no. But what's going on? And it's I don't know.
Yeah, no. Good tense. Good tense. All right. So looking at where we are on our time check, I think we can move to the next thing because we still have a couple of things that we need to run through. Gugu.
Yes.
You have a checklist apparently for the love of your life.
I had
a
checklist.
Apologies. HAD. In the past, she had a list of who the love of her life was meant to be. Me personally, I'm curious because obviously we went to primary school together, and obviously we didn't go to high school together, and then the paths kept there's separating further and further apart. So me, I want to see if there's an image that I've always had of Gugu from Whitestone Gugu to where you are now, right? So some of the things that Senna will tell me, I'm like, ain't no way in hell. That's not the Gugu that I know. So tell me what your checklist looked like. Let's see how close to what I think it would be it actually is or was, right?
Okay, so my checklist back then or my checklist now?
So your checklist back then. I think that's the more interesting.
Don't forget that I know
it.
It
was very materialistic. Okay, I think it'll be better coming from Senna actually.
Can I go for it, please?
You can go for it.
I've been waiting so long. And I remember where we were. We're in the library, first year, varsity, and Gugu was describing her ideal man.
Okay.
All right. So first of all, this guy had to be tall. I think that's pretty standard. He had to be tall. He had to be dark. Because I don't know. Let's get
not trying to date yellow boys.
Yeah. He had to be he had to not be a lawyer because she was a lawyer, and also now dating a lawyer wouldn't really work, according to her. He also had to be not a lawyer, but also in a profession that you would consider a step up, right? Was it that?
Yeah.
So engineering, accounting, actuary, so something that's step up or level, that kind of a thing. He had to not be Zimbabwean. That was very important. It was very important because Gugu was tired of Zim men at 19. By 19, Gugu said, guys, I'm tired of Zim men.
Wait, hold on. Gugu, you're 19 years old. How many boyfriends had you had at that point?
2.
So 2 boyfriends and you were done.
It was enough, bruh. More than 2. You're like,
guys, I'm dying. Go on.
So obviously, if he can't be Zimbabwean, he definitely can't be South African, because that's even going lower than.
I do not remember that. I don't remember that one.
Say that's if I get
I'm not
I
adding
said it's pretty
Aramex.
Aramex.
Guys,
I
I
said it's pretty
remember. I
Aramex.
remember the list. I remember the list. No, I'm not adding anything. He had to be. He had to be a virgin. It was very important. He had to be Christian. Also very important, because she's also Christian. What was the other one?
Senna, you got it wrong. So it wasn't that he didn't have to be South African, but he had to be Congolese. I was just obsessed with Congolese people.
Oh, you were specific about the Congolese.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah, so he had to be from those exotic East African countries.
Bro, Congo is Central Africa, but okay. Shut up.
But that vibe, Tabo
That
Pela, you know
vibe.
what we're saying.
That vibe.
It's GPS guy way off.
It's the wine, guys. It's the wine. But yeah, that vibe. Just not from here, not from the region. Gugu, you remind me if I'm leaving.
So you wanted that foreign.
If I'm leaving anything else, I think that's it.
That was pretty much it. It was pretty standard. I feel like this is what most girls have.
So to just kind of tally it up, we're looking for a tall, dark man who's not a lawyer, a step up from the lawyer profession, not a Zimbabwean, a virgin, a Christian, and specifically a Congolese.
Yeah, and I remember specifically saying, Gugu, you're describing a unicorn, or you're really, really narrowing your options, because that man does not exist.
No, she basically have to relocate to Congo to find him.
Yeah, she was going to do that. Well, you're going to go to Congo or Kenya.
Kenya. I still want to go to Kenya.
I'm buying a mission. I think that's the easiest way
So wait,
to complete this
so
goal.
Cooks, out of curiosity, what inspired the list?
I have no idea. I can't even tell you why. Honestly, it's just
I'm shocked yet you didn't say on my list, which I'd say it's probably about the same. I thought because you had like your eyes were set on Europe for the longest time.
so. You thought what? A white guy?
Yeah, I was like, I know definitely.
I did
But
think we would
definitely
end
there
up with
was-
a white guy.
There was a time I did think I was going to end up with a white guy, and then I was like, listen, I can't wake up and speak English every day, so it won't work out.
that is actually that's a very good.
So wait,
point.
is
That
it
a very,
standard
very
for
good
girls to like have a list like this at some point?
I
in
think
their
mine
lives?
is definitely, and I think mine is actually a lot more like shallow than a lot of girls.
like shallow in terms of.
Like
point. I
like
think yours is not as shallow as I've heard before.
like
Yours
I've
is, I'd
heard
say,
some
medium.
people's that are like really really long, like especially I think in the Christian circle as well, girls are like pray for a husband and like write a whole list of Lord, this is the guy that I want. So I think I was like pretty chilled, honestly.
This was chilled.
This was chilled.
Ungazibona usukhulekela indoda. That's dangerous territory. That's very, very dangerous territory.
Why is it dangerous?
Personally, the people that I know that have prayed for men, it's just not worked out. Yeah, no.
I don't
you
think
just,
I don't think the praying is wrong. I just think the expectation of the man that they want is what is wrong. Like Sarah said, we
guess-
build unicorns, in our minds of what we want.
Yeah, because now the thing is, right? You pray for this guy. You're tall, dark, not lawyer, step up, not Zimbo, virgin, Christian, Congolese man, and then some random Congolese guy shows up, and then he has half of those attributes, and then now you start like wish casting to be like, maybe he's a virgin, maybe like he's like 5'7". I guess that's tall because I'm 5'5". You know what I mean? Because now you start doing these funny things because you prayed, and then God has put this like 50%. To the standard that you're looking for, and then now you force this relationship, you end up getting dribbled, now you end up getting hurt, and it's just like, it's just no. That's praying for men thing.
Now you just gotta
Once
be
you start saying
realistic and like rank your so-called characteristics. Like you're not gonna have everything at 100. Likewise, because I'm not 100 at everything that a guy wants either. So you just gotta rank everything that you like or prefer.
So Manji, Katesi, what does the list look like?
Now, above all, God-fearing, someone who's not outspoken but can speak their mind, someone who stands up to people. Because essentially, I mean, now we're dating to get married, right? No one's wanting to get married to a guy who's not going to stand up to his family. So certain...
Wait, hold on. A guy who's not going to what?
To stand up to his family if his family comes at you.
Are you anticipating conflict?
Of course there is. We're black. There's always going to be that one aunt.
Wait, is
There's
that
always
like,
going to be that one aunt.
out of curiosity, is that like a big... Because I don't think as guys we think about it as much, but I think I've heard this very often from girls, or which they think a lot about, actually, when I get married, I have to deal with the family and all the people who may not like me. Is that like a genuine like for women, like you guys think about that a lot with my future husband? That's something that might
That's
happen.
probably the scariest thing for me when I think about marriage, for sure. Like I feel like him and I, we can sort out our issues or whatever, but when it comes to his family, that's the tough part. And because there's going to be those aunts or aunt or whatever that are just going to be funny.
Yeah, okay. That's fair. So you said God-fearing, he's outspoken and will stand up for you if the family is going left. And what else?
Kind, gentle. I think it's now more like characteristics that I'd want, not like materialistic looks and stuff. Obviously, he must take care of himself. Like you must bath, but like, yeah, and I mean, so the whole tall, dark, handsome, that can whatever, but essentially more going down to who he is as a person matters more.
Okay, so your priorities have changed.
Definitely.
All right. No, that's good. No, that's it's an expected change in terms of, obviously what we thought about when we were in high school, uni, versus what you're looking for now in terms of, muito serious. This what you've described sounds like a serious individual to me. Not local with this Congo. Which
Shem, to be honest, in terms of Disney princesses, Gugu was the ultimate Disney princess.
Oh yeah,
no lie. Ultimate.
You're lying.
Ultimate
Gugu, you
Disney
are
princess, bro.
Some of the things that you would say, because I would come home every summer and I'd hang out with you guys, because you guys would be, when I'm coming back, you guys are still in school, right? So I would pull up Joburg, we hang out, and some of the things that Gugu would just spout, I'd just look at you and you just have, you've got no words, you just look at this person, you're like, Gugu for real, like, it's like, on Twitter, where someone will tweet, I don't know, something, I can't come up with an example now, and then someone will quote the tweet and is like, is anyone going to tell him? Something like, or like someone say, I just started watching Game of Thrones and I'm really falling in love with this Ned Stark character.
You're like, haha, yeah.
Exactly. And then someone will quote it and be like, is someone going to tell him? Because we all know Ned Stark dies, at the end of season 1. So it's just like, spoiler for anyone who's planning to see Game of Thrones, but whatever. So there will be moments like that where I'm just like, here it will end in tears. But I'm glad things have changed. The focus, the girl is focused. No. We are behind you 110%. Cool. Let me see. So that's that on the list, yeah? On the checklist.
Yeah.
You're happy with it?
Yeah.
Okay. Nah, chill. Seda, did you ever have a list?
Probably not explicitly, and not to that extent, but there were like a couple of prerequisites, which I probably still have. I always say friendship, brains, and what's the other thing? Yeah, friendship and brains. beauty helps.
Friendship and brains.
Beauty helps.
Yeah, but
So it's like a job application. Beauty will be
it helps. But yeah, I never had like a preset prerequisite of what I want and who I want to be with.
Okay.
Yeah.
But one thing I can say that I've always admired about Sinamiso is that he manages to maintain long-term relationships. I mean, because your first, okay, I feel like your ex-high school one was quite long.
Gugu.
Ma? Because the way you said my name though.
Yeah. Are we talking? Wait. Because now we're talking. Are we talking about the same sentence?
Yes.
Yeah, I think Sena's had very long-term relationships. I think, yeah.
Guys. But anyway, now go and make your point. Me, I'm a bit
Why are you
flabbergasted in
flabbergasted?
terms of what is just. No, but me personally, I'm a files. I'm a record that maybe offline. We might have to compare notes. Single City, let's just check. But anyway, go on.
Yeah, no,
Senna,
when Sena's in a relationship, he's in it for the long run. Like, he's not there to play games. I think that's one thing I've admired about him, Shem.
No. Hey, I'm not gonna say anything to contradict what you're saying. I mean, personally, I'm glad that someone is out there saying this stuff about Senna. That makes me
Yeah, because it helps. Because Tabo likes coming here and speaking propaganda against my name.
I don't speak any propaganda, bro. Me personally, guys, Senna is an amazing gent, amazing top tier, 10 out of 10. Yeah. Now we show them like
Yeah.
Top tier gent. Just stop supporting Man United, and I think you'd be a 10 out of 10. That's where I think we part ways. But anyway, I think this is a good note for us to move into Siyazama. Siyazama is the part of the show where obviously, as the listener, this is your moment. You can send in a point of order, question, anything that you'd like us to address with the 6 Foot Weights community. If you want to send through Siyazama, you can send it to our email address at 6footweights at gmail.com, the number 6ftweights at gmail.com, or you can just DM the podcast on Twitter, same handle, 6footweights, the number 6ftweights. Follow the podcast, and let us know what is on your mind. We have 2 Siyazamas. Actually, I feel like it's 3 because there's something else.
There's 3.
Oh, yes.
I have 1.
So there's okay. So there's 4. I've got 2 to address specifically with Gugu. The other one will be Blue Therapy. But I guess we'll start with the Gugu side of things.
Okay.
Gugu, you. There's one thing that I think me and you spoke about this privately, and then you were on some. If you remember this conversation, you said you were coming at me on some because I don't know what I said about Burnside. You Burnside guys, Burnside, what teeny, waddy. I don't live in Burnside anymore. I've moved out. What? Sharp. I'm like, okay, Google, where do you live? And then you go and you say Selborne Park,
bro.
And in my mind, I'm just like, the way to put context into the conversation for people who are listening. Gugu made it seem like she's staying in Kwabaland. Situation. Like she left Burnside and she's now in Kwabaland. And in my mind, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. But then when you said so, I'm like, that's not really that's like, oh, I sold my BMW for a Mercedes or an Audi. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't go up or down. Like, this is adjacent. So, or can you tell me what is different about Selborne Park? I think it's the better hood, low key, but tell me, what's the difference?
It's the better hood in the sense that it's obviously like a newer suburb as compared to Burnside houses, right? But what I meant is that the culture of the people in Selborne Park and the culture of the people in Burnside are different.
How?
Your Burnside people,
Okay.
your Burnside people act like you're like the Santon of Bulawayo and like
Twice.
Gugu, mana kukuletu.
your own chill spots.
Kukuletu.
Okay.
Excuse me. How long did you live in Burnside?
Yeah, but I mean that's the point, though.
I'm sorry.
You spent the better part of your life in
Gugu moved to
Burnside.
Selborne
Yes, I
Park like
did.
3 years ago. 2 years ago.
Like what? No, like, 3 years ago, 4 years ago.
Before that, you lived
But
in
it's
Burnside
like-
all your life.
But like, I was in varsity for most of the time. Okay, like it's not the same thing.
Nah, that's a lie.
Yeah.
Again,
Bruh,
that's varsity.
I
was 4 years
found
ago.
Gugu in
Yes,
Burnside.
Relax.
exactly. My adult
Relax.
life, most of my adult life has been in Salmon Park.
That's like 2 years.
Exactly, which is of like how many years I've been in Zim after varsity.
Nah. That's no. That doesn't count. Okay, so you couch yourself on Parky B.
We're just chilled. We're like laid back. We go into town, do other things like normal people of Bulawayo. Not like y'all in Burnside. You've got your spots that you eat at in Burnside that no one knows about and you don't tell anyone about.
Gugu's a snitch. Why are you snitching?
First of all, we're not a Somakyo, right? You're basically describing a certain demographic in Burnside, not all of us, right? I think me and Senna were plenty in the streets, in skies.
Where? You guys were home the whole of December 2 years ago and I didn't even see you. That says a lot,
No,
guys.
wait. I made
We were
several
parked there by Smokehouse. We were parked.
attempts at seeing Gugu. Several.
No, yes, that's different, Senna. I'm talking about if you guys were in the streets, I would have seen you passing by Hefeli's.
Aye, but Gugu's could have been.
I think I bumped into you in town one time.
It was Senna Tabo. That was a long time ago, and you were still. If I'm not wrong, that was the time when you were still trying to get into the DMs with your girl because I saw you guys together.
Wow.
So
wow.
it's different.
Wow. But anyway, the point is, I
You
was
were
in
still
town.
Mackie.
Point is,
Back then, you didn't mind
I
buying
was getting
food.
a food.
Exactly.
I was in there, guys. I was in there. But no. Gugu, nah. This is slander of the highest order. Burnside people are chilled. We are normal like everybody else. Like,
Okay.
maybe our bed in Bougie and Hillside. I'd say Hillside, it's a bit, Burnside, we're quarter to Matopo, bruh. Like, we're literally, you keep driving, you're at Matopo's National Park. Or you're in Escotini. Like, there's a road that will take you to Escotini. Like, it's a lot. It's a lot. Or Gwanda even,
Wow.
So we're in the Makayas in Burnside. So
Wow.
we're very, Senna, we're very humble.
Oh, of course.
Oh,
right?
wow.
Incredibly.
Yeah.
I think.
Okay,
We're
guys.
chilled.
I think. To be honest, there's Abula Lutepe inside, guys. Ogunyenche is just, I think, a reputation
It's
just
clout.
because it's far.
It's a clout
There's a
tin.
lot of white people there, and Whitestone is there. Ogunyenche, you guys just overestimate that neighborhood as if it's like amazing thing. Well, it's not. It's
Yeah. No, Magalis. Like, there's houses in Burnside that, you could literally pick it up and put it in another area and you wouldn't even notice, right? I've seen nicer houses in North End or Padenhurst, different parts of Lukazin, of Bulawayo, that would, if you put those in Burnside, then, okay, cool, that's nice.
Not the
You know,
stand
but
size of Burnside, though.
That's
Okay,
true.
maybe
That's-
there.
That you
yeah,
can't
man.
bite.
Gule space, Tina, no, we've got, you can run around.
So
do
you
some
can run around with
exercise.
your dogs and play with fetch with your dogs, yeah, right?
Okay,
okay,
cool.
we get it, dog. Yo.
What's your problem?
Yo.
No, this is gonna get us into trouble with people. So like I'm going to leave this website and we'll go from there. But the second thing that I wanted to touch on you is a bit more serious ish. So last week, Senna and I spoke about because apparently there was a racism scandal in the school in South Africa, and we spoke about racism in guys' schools versus in all boys schools versus all girls schools. And I remember you did a thread on Instagram, I think last year sometime, if I'm not mistaken, and you were talking about like experiences that you had at girls' college that were like straight up like, whoa, this is crazy, even at Whitestone. So I wanted you to just like expand a little bit on that, because obviously as a girl in those schools, you guys went through very, very different experiences compared to us.
Okay, so I think Whitestone was definitely a lot more worse than GC. Probably also
Really?
because at the time we had Whitestone, guys, it was more white than it was black. And so,
But it still
and then
is,
when
right?
you, then when, it's a bit more diluted now.
Okay.
though.
Yeah, no. I went there a few years ago. So like, what that?
So when I left Whitestone, I was pretty much, I mean, everybody knows this. I was pretty much a big coconut, even going into. Wow, Tabo, you were waiting for me to say that.
I was like, hey, I was just waiting. What's the bullet means?
And so when I moved to GC, I was still very like blind to, you know, this is black or this is a white issue. It's just, I was still very, we're all people, we all love each other. And then as you grow, but like the funny thing is I couldn't chill with the white people anymore because life was just different. Like life over the weekend was no longer just let's go sleep over. It's like, it was different. The culture of white culture and black culture was now clashing. But also at the same time, I couldn't chill with black people because black people were like, you're too white or you're too coconut or you think you're better than us. So it was like, I was like floating amongst different circles of people and stuff. And I think I only properly realized the different dynamics of race when I left GC. You know, when you look back and you're like, wait, but that was messed up or this was messed up. But for me personally, I can say I didn't recognize it at the time because I was very naive or just like about my life. Like I was just like, we can all be friends. Like, you know, it's not that deep. So most of the stuff was probably with like school rules of how girls had to wear their hair or like how, and you're at assembly, they just would not bother about learning how to say my surname right. And just like things like that, where as black people, we were always so quick to accommodate other white girls or white teachers, but it was never the same way the other way around.
You're like prefect exec, right? So you're enforcing some of these
I was an exec.
rules. What a senior prefect. You're enforcing these rules at GC.
At Gugu, at GC.
Yeah, at GC.
Okay, I thought you were saying at Whitestone. So you was like, Gugu, you were busy oppressing us.
Didn't she win some award at Whitestone? Citizenship girl.
I did.
That's like the most well-behaved. It's the most well-behaved. Wow. The nicest person. What was that award all about, actually?
I feel like the name says it all.
What was it? Which award was it?
The citizenship one.
What was it for, actually?
Yeah.
It was for like the most...
It was the kindest or whatever, something along the lines of that.
Okay.
So you were just a nice person?
Apparently, yeah.
Why are you saying apparently? May I believe it? Amandla.
Thank you.
But it wasn't nice to me, bro.
Wait, Tabo, when did you come to Whitestone, actually?
I was there since grade 3.
Yeah, well, okay, we were never in the same class, but I was in the same class. Oh, no.
So you were only nice to your classmates?
No, but that's not true because I was friends with Sena, and Sena and I weren't in the same class.
Yeah.
So
the only guy that
I don't know who you chose
was Tembani. Tembani was a genuinely nice guy.
He was nice. Wait, wasn't he citizenship boy actually?
I don't know. I don't remember.
There's no way they gave it to two black people in Xavier. There's no way.
Wow.
Yeah, there's no way. Tibia would have never let that
Some
happen.
of these awards, I look at them now and I'm like, okay, cool. I get it. But at the same time, it's like,
what's the point?
Yeah, like, what do you mean by most well-behaved or the nicest or the kindest? Is it the most compliant?
Yeah.
Or what are you?
That's true. That's true. But Tabo, I probably didn't know you because I feel like you chilled a lot with the black guys. And like I've said already, I was that black girl that stuck out like a sore thumb amongst all the white circles. So
me, I was with the people. I was in the trenches.
You were, bruh. You were.
But hey, that's where the fun was at, fam. Where I was able Nandine, you know, like that's where it was lit.
But Tabo, do you not think that the way that then we were then branded as black kids as being the rowdy group?
Definitely.
You know?
I don't. To be honest, to be fair, were we branded?
Oh yeah,
that
definitely.
Way? Like, I genuinely
definitely.
remember.
Although I was probably like a bit behaved, but
because you were quiet.
Yeah, I was quiet. So I wasn't like loud or whatever. But everyone else was just like, "Oh yeah, you guys are rowdy," constantly, and it was repeated.
But we did have one or two or three or four rowdy.
Not more than the white guys. Not any more than the average white guy, to be honest.
Fair enough. No. But like, this is the thing. So we had some delinquents. That's the thing. We had some rowdy black guys, but with white guys, they're delinquents. Like straight up, this guy, like this guy is not okay. Like mentally, this guy is not okay. You know, that is the difference that I saw personally. Like, you know, again, we won't name names, but there were certain guys which like these things that they would do. she's just like, Chief, like, how are you, like, how are you in school type of thing, right? But then with the black guys, it's like good guys that were just acting stupid in the sense that they just wanted to have fun, right? And everything is jokes and, gunje type of situation. But I don't know. There's a lot that I don't remember, but I do know, there were certain teachers who used to lasha speaker in a way that when you're a kid, it doesn't register. Mm-hmm. But then if they were to say it again, now you're like, whoa, Mr. Whoever. Yeah.
And it's kind of difficult then, because nowadays I make these little jokes, and me and my parents can actually talk about the stuff now, which is great. But I can bring that up and be like, actually, did you know these things? Like, and then my queen would be like, yeah, but it's a better school, so you kind of have to suck it up.
Yeah.
And they would then, and my mom would then tell us stories about how actually when you go into a school fees meeting, with the white parents, they would say the most aggressive stuff, like, you're having a meeting about fees. Like, the beer would call a meeting and say, hey, school fees, blah, blah, blah. And then they would say something along the lines of, so if you have issues, take your child to a school in Malokshi. And I'm like, yo, damn, but you should ask your parents if they ever attended those fees meetings, how.
But Sena, do you think sometimes as well is the more the teachers and the headmaster or whatever saw your parent at school, they kind of gave them more respect?
Yes, obviously, if
for my dad, my dad was like, I think the parents assembled or something when I was a Whitestone, and he'd be the black parent at all the hockey matches and all of that stuff. So I remember the 1 year in grade 7, I was like the 3rd seed for the tennis team, and I wasn't put in the team to go play for inter-schools or something, and a white girl below me was put above me. And in tennis, it's I beat you, I'm in the team. It's not about hockey where there's discretion or whatever. And so when that happened, my dad went and complained and would not have it, and I was put in the team. Whereas I don't think that would have happened with all black kids who did that, like all black parents
definitely.
who did that.
I mean, we had guys who played first team soccer that you look down and you're like, Chief, really? Okay. Cool.
Yeah, my parents never showed up to shit. Like, never. Like, they would just show up either at 1 o'clock to pick me up at 5 o'clock for after sport. There was no, we have a match, what.
None of that.
I remember played like Colts A rugby. My dad wasn't even trying to hear that shit. Played hockey, wasn't trying to hear. But they showed up, they would show up for like sports day, right? Where it's athletics day or whatever, or the swimming gala. They would show up on those once in a term type of things. But then everything else, and then you'd see your other friends who their mothers are, they game in, game out, right? To the point that like some of these other mothers take you in.
I'm not sure if you guys ever traveled like in a team with white guys, like for sports, because their parents would always drive behind the school bus or ahead of it or whatever it is. You get to Harare, right? And they're already there, and you're like, and then.
And they've got food and snacks for the whole team. What, and you're just like, yo, and you come back home and they're telling you it's chocolate and beans, bro. Like.
But I feel like we need to read those certain things into the economic context that our parents had to work
and to be fair, like
our moms were not stay-at-home moms, they were also.
And our parents would try. Like I can speak for my mom and say that woman would pack my lunchbox with a full chicken whenever I had a trip. No, like legit. Guys, which black child when they were traveling didn't have a full chicken in their bag? Like no, my mom would always
the food was definitely upgraded,
and it was probably I get it. She has work, right? Monday to Friday she's working 8 o'clock to 5 p.m. She can't take a day to come travel with you. Saturday she has church. She has your other siblings to look after. It's not going to be I'm going to travel all the way to Lomakundi just to watch you play cricket. I don't even know what the sport is all about.
And then look for accommodation.
Dude. So I think they did the best they could at the time. But now you talk to them, you're like, oh, so those parent-teacher thing is like, bruh, in those meetings they tell us beans. And you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I think we need to have these conversations. I'll definitely ask my dad. He's like, but to be honest, I don't know. I don't even know if they attend. They never would attend anything. They were your typical black parents where they come to prize giving. When is prize giving? Like, hey, why am I telling my prize? That's what they were interested in. Not to hey, we're playing, what school or this, maybe. I mean, I think my mom would come to the plays that we would do every year. Like, so some of these things, the pick and choose, because obviously the plays would be like, I was 7, my mom was 6 o'clock after work. They'd show up to that, right? But anything I had during the day.
So wait, one question that Tabo brought this up last weekend, Gugu, just wanted to find out if you feel the same way. Did you then, when you got to GC, feel envious of other black girls from different backgrounds, in the sense that they're probably more in touch with their blackness, or maybe they went to Coughlin and then GC, or maybe they went to another school and then GC? Did you ever feel that way at any point in time?
To a certain degree. I just knew that I felt excluded, but I wanted to be part of like the black girls circle, because like they were just tight, they were just cool, and if I tried to act cool like a black girl, I was just awkward, because I'm not entirely a black girl, And so, yes, I definitely say, like, there was the whole culture of being a black girl, but being cool, like, being able to get into trouble, but you don't care. Like, oh my goodness, if I got into trouble, I think I would cry before the teacher even came. So there were certain aspects, definitely, that I did wish I had. And I think I noticed it more so when I went to South Africa, where I had friends from, like, Soweto, they have the whole vibe going on, and you're like, I don't even know what my vibe is, fam.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think the further you move away from like home or your comfort zone and stuff like that, because like Whitestone really was something that was a bubble, right? We were just kind of like, oh, okay, cool, this is what life is. Then you go to high school and you're like, oh shit, this is not really what life is. And then you go to uni where it's like it's even more expanded and like people are different, and you're just kind of like, oh. And then you have that wake up moment where it's like, okay, but what is my identity? Who am I, right? What do I connect to? Because now people are celebrating their uniqueness, and what's standing out is how different we are and stuff like that. And now you don't want to assimilate, whereas growing up you did want to assimilate. And it's kind of like, you see a lot of people. I've had friends who, for example, be like, oh, I would hardly ever speak Ndebele, or I'd hardly ever speak Shona, or whatever the language is. But then they get to uni and they make a concerted effort to be like, nah, I need to learn my language. I need to, understand my culture, because people like that. People want to know more about my culture. And hey, Kati, you said and obviously in America, which I hated, everyone, when they would learn Uti, my language is the one that has the clicks. Oh my god, do the click, and it's just like, like they would just go mad the whole time. It's like, how do you even say that? And like literally, I don't know how many times I said Ikanda in my life, like when I was in the States, because they're just like, it was just fascinating. But to me, I'm just like, those are the things that before you think, oh my god, that's not cool. But then Gatesi, that's everything that makes you unique. And
definitely.
Especially now, people are spread out in different parts of the world, and it's like you're learning different things about people's culture. The same way people would like, oh my god, French is so sexy. Hey, this and that. You know what I mean? And then now you are the exotic, don, and it's just like, okay, interesting. But anyway, Mr. Moy, what's your sense?
I should have yours open for the meantime. At my phone, I need to just get it open on my phone. Do yours first, since I would.
Okay. I just wanted to touch on group therapy real quick. You saw the finale. We had a Siyazama asking if it was real or fake. Do you think it's scripted, or you think
I think it's
genuine?
partly scripted, most likely. But the issues are very real. I think, in as much as Blue Therapy might have been scripted, but I think we know. I think a lot of couples go through a whole lot of that stuff, where we all know a girl who's dating a guy like Paul. We all know a girl who's dating a guy like Jamal, who trains his ex and then sits in a car for 4 hours. And that's the way it is, dog. It's I think it might be scripted, but I think the stories are real.
Now, personally, I'm confused because I thought it was scripted as well. But then, I'm looking at Chioma's tweets and she's, and like, so Paul came out on Instagram, Izolo, and he said, hey guys, it was scripted. Thanks so much for the support, blah, blah, blah. The acting that we did. And, like, Paul is also, he's crazy. So in my mind, I'm like, Paul is crazy enough to actually lie to people and be like, no, it was scripted when it was real. So I didn't know if that was legit. But then also now Chioma's tweeting and she's just like, hey, you're mad because I called you broke. Don't lie to the people. Nobody gave you consent to put out that video that you put out. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm like, if I'm the Chioma lady, right? At this point, I'm not, if it was fake, for example, I'm not continuing to tweet on about it after the series is over as if it's real. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, so that's what I mean by, like, I'm confused. I really don't know if it's real or fake because one side is saying, this is, and there's like 3 tweets where Jamal tweets, Deborah tweets, and Chioma tweets. They're all insinuating or outright saying that it is real. And then Paul is the one that's saying, nah, this is fake. So I'm confused.
Paul came out
genuinely
and confused. The worst. If I were him, I would also be like, guys, it's a joke. But I understand if it's fake. Like, I understand if it's fake, if they're trying to draw the light on, people's relationship issues, because young black couples go through a lot.
That's true. That is very, very true. But yeah, I think overall it was a very interesting, thoughtful series.
Jamal disappointed me. When I found out he was cheating with his ex, I was like, how, my G, what going? But anyway,
yeah, no.
This year's I got is very short actually. Hi gents, loving the podcast. Wanted to ask a question. This is funny. I recently started talking to a girl who had a thing with one of my friends. I really like her, but I'm not sure how my boy would feel. Let me know what you guys would do if you're in my situation.
Go back. He recently started talking to a girl who did what?
A girl who had a thing with one of his friends.
Uh-huh.
I think I've asked you about something like what are the rules of engagement regarding this?
So he wants to be an
Eskimo brother. I think we've touched on this. We touched on this like sometime last year. We'll give this one to Gugu to actually advise the mans.
Yeah.
Klima.
Why?
You think you must shut it down?
Yeah, there's no need to go there.
What if it's the love of his life?
Personally, I think like, nope. There's just, don't go there.
Could be the wife.
Nope. Anyone else, anywhere else, please. But just, no, it's not happening. It's not a thing.
So when are you that person who says, if I've been with a person, I've got permanent shares lapo, so my friends cannot touch this guy?
Yeah, it's just weird. Like, okay, so I mean, if my best friend was to come, like if Pumi was to come to me and say, oh no, bro, like this guy that you dated, I think him and I, it's just weird. It's I think it'll also bring up questions of, was there a thing at the time that him and me and this guy were having a thing as well, but between them was there something as well? Like, I know.
No, like, I'm reading this, I assume that it's something that probably developed after.
Hi.
Nah, there's no such thing.
You keep it as following on Instagram, Twitter. Yes, you can keep it there. That's it. No DM sliding, please.
I don't think if you're a homie, right? So if say that you have a chick, and I then become interested in this chick, it's not like you broke up with her and then something went off in my mind. Oh, this girl is actually attractive. She was attractive from day one.
Yep.
But because you're my boy, I was respectful, never said anything, and I acted right throughout. So we shouldn't get things twisted with there's no start and stop, right? I think there's, especially if we all attract more than one person. There's multiple people that are attracted to you, say, right? and it's one of those things where there's multiple people that will see you and be like, oh, Senna's a good looking guy, and it's very likely that the girl that you end up hooking up with has friends who will also be like, oh, actually he is cute, you know. So it's always there, but people just keep it to themselves. I think it's got potential to be messy, but I mean, if you know what Senna's the love of your life, then bruh, go for it.
Maybe I would say yes if it was like, I think from good
high school,
like back, like high school. Maybe then I think that would be fine. But if it's like something from our adult life, nah.
So any guy that you dated, like let's say when you were 25, for example, so you've got permanent shares there.
Yeah,
like, no.
yeah.
But what if your boy? My question is, what if your boy is a razor, bruh? Like, now he's glittering everyone. As a chill.
Everyone in the radius.
And there's a very funny tweet that Tabo posted a couple of weeks back, where someone said, guys, Bulawayo is too small. And then Tabo's like, there's only ever one reason to post this. Bro, I laugh so hard.
That's true. That's true. I saw that one.
I laugh so hard.
Yeah. No,
because
it's only ever one reason.
Bulawayo is small, right? And people say Harare is small.
Yeah.
People from H-Town will add us and tell us whether or not they think Harare is also small. But Blues is notoriously small because once you date someone, best believe there's someone you know who may or may not have dated that person before. And then from there, what do you do? Do you say, okay, right off, and never again, and again? I think you just take your out. All right, it's my turn.
I think the important thing, and I think when we spoke about this, what I had said is that you can have your list of 2 to 4 untouchables, right? These are known. I'd be actually, if you hooked up with this girl, I'd be cut, type of thing, right? You can have, everybody has 1, 2, 3, or 4 of those, but after that, I cheer, bro. Like you can't have like 10 girls where you're like, nah. Like it doesn't. If you had, a girl, y'all had a 2, 3, 4 year relationship, then I get that. I get why you would be very hesitant and that kind of thing, but if it's you guys were hooking up or you dated for like 6 months, then you're telling me don't touch. Nah. You don't have that tend.
Senna, would your answer be different if the breakup was messy?
No, Shep.
Or it was like not amicable.
No, can I say it's? I think I agree with Tabo, in the sense that there are some people where it's just like, actually no, maybe the feelings were a bit, intense. Even if the breakup was messy, but the feelings weren't that strong, whatever, right? Yeah, but if the feelings were intense and you really, really love this person, and my boy is also now telling me, listen, I know you broke up with Mang, but kuma DM Lawana, I'm there.
Okay, so I think with girls it would be different because girls, we talk too much actually with each other in terms of our like relationships and stuff. So I feel like my friends would not date whoever I'd have dated before because we've hated this person together. If I've broken up with them, like we have slandered their name together. We have messed them up together.
So we were in this together and we talked all this shit about this guy.
Guys,
my C was on the other side, like, but no, we could do Gugu. La pane say pop. I could be that girl.
Can be an understanding hand.
But I think exactly. I see where Gugu went wrong. Me, on the other hand, this is what I'm willing to put on the table. And like people are like that. People are shady like that.
True.
But I think as guys, for the most part, and even though guys do each other dirty. But for the most part, like, I've had conversations with certain gents. We're like, hey, listen, I know you and Uzbani had a thing. Like, what's the situation there? No, chief, I don't care. Go for it. It's like, all right, cool. And then people have DM me, be like, hey, chief, Lapana APCT.
Like, yeah, no, I remember in college, I was pushing that item. So, what must happen?
What's the story?
But wait, Tabo, wouldn't it actually be dodgy if you said, no to someone going for your ex considering you are now engaged? Doesn't that say something? I'm asking.
That's
Whoa,
a very
Gugu, ask me all the right questions.
You see, that's a very interesting question. Yeah, no, it's so good tricky, Penana. So good tricky. Ish.
Can I answer for you on my sort of
Yes,
behalf,
please,
right?
go ahead.
So it's not about whether or not you still have feelings for that person now, or whether or not you care about them now, but it's the idea that you used to care about them then, and now your boy is into it on a ngifuna lami to take over and care for this person, and it's like you said, Gugu, so does that mean that back then, when I was, telling you all my relationship stress, you were taking notes on what to do? You may not care about the person, but you may look at your memories fondly, and that might ruin it for you.
And it's weird, right? Like if it is someone that you had an intense relationship with, and then like Senna goes and he starts dating that person, it's just going to be, because it's easier when that person is out of your mind, out of your circles, really, you know what I mean? They're living their life, you're living your life, right? Life goes on for the two of you. But then now she's consistently in your life because Senna's in your life. You know what I mean? So now it's just kind of like, it's just messy, it's just weird. And like, yeah, Senna knew all of these ndabas that I was talking about in that relationship, and you know what I mean, like it's just a whole weird thing, because then now if he comes to me with, hey bruh, this chick is performing for me, wunje, like am I gonna be like, nah, don't worry dog, 4 years ago when we were in a relationship, this happened to me, and so you know what I mean, that's weird. That's very, very weird. So I would probably be like, nah, I'm not comfortable with that. If and then again, if you went ahead and did it, fair enough, it's a free country, but then there would have to be distance between me and Zen at that point, because now I need to protect my peace at the end of the day.
Huh? Go tricky, go tough. Oh wow.
Gugu just out here making shit awkward. But yeah, no, I think this is where we can sort of park the podcast for this week. 50 episodes in, which is that's a lot. That's another 50 and another 100. That's I see that level, bro. It's a lot.
I actually ask myself this every week. I'm like, send and tell me I have something to talk about every week for over an hour.
No, I don't even know how we come.
We don't swear that stuff. I think more than anything, it's the approach is very important. So I think it's important not to look at it strictly as, I think we spoke about this yesterday when I was sort of helping you, like, yo, dude, come onto the thing. It's not so much we're recording a podcast. It's, yo, dog, let's just get on a phone call and chat.
Yeah, we're talking
in the same way we would on
and let it go
on a day-to-day basis, except we're now filtering. We're not talking about our deep darkest secrets.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of the time it's a case of Senna having to stop the conversation, or me having to stop the conversation, because like I'll be looking at where we are in time, and the hardest thing on earth is to keep. I always tell Senna, I'm like, Senna, today 1 hour, yeah, good, and he'll be like, okay, cool. But it's never that. All of a sudden we're getting into our stride, which is right now we're cooking, and it's like now we're at the hour mark, and it's just, I don't even know how people who do like TV and have like a 30-minute, I'm like, how do you do that? Like someone who has like a 20-minute podcast or like YouTube videos that are like 10 minutes long, and I'm like, how, It blows my mind. But yeah, every week come up with stuff, just like, hey, and the funny thing is the longest podcast that we've had usually have the fewest topics. So I'll be like, right, we only have 3 things that we're going to talk about.
Like, I think today we didn't have a lot of
stuff. And then that's a 2-hour thing. Yeah. We didn't. We really didn't. But it's fun. It's fun being able to speak at length and stuff like that. And, one or 2 times it couldn't make sense. But yeah, Gugu, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
It was a very, very, exciting and great podcast. Good laughs. Senna, I guess, thanks for coming as well. Putting in the shift. That's also appreciated. And then obviously to you, the listener, thank you so much for listening to the podcast and supporting the podcast. And obviously, you know what it is. Retweet the ting, like the ting, subscribe to the ting. And if you don't, we are inclined to believe you're a hater. Gugu, Senna, this is where I leave you. Bye-bye.
Later.
Bye.